I am like 4'11". Majority of people are taller than me and bigger than me. I mean, I think I could take somebody on, but still, I don't want to. Went on a listing appointment, and they were like, "Oh, we have pets or whatever," and I was like, "Okay, no problem." I am really afraid of cats. I am not a cat lover. Sorry. I'm more of a dog person. And the reason why I am not a fan of cats is because I think they're going to claw at you, which is so crazy because we have cats in front of our office with the little box, which I don't mind. But if I see them, I like stop and just wait till they pass. So, anyway, so I walk into this house. They have like 4 dogs. Okay, cool. Like, I love dogs. They have like 15 cats, and she tells me that she fosters them and she also takes in stray cats. And on the outside, she had a little home for the feral cats. So that the word feral just freaks me out even more. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get mauled to death while I'm in here. She has a little home for the feral cats, and in front of her house, she had like a cutout of cats, and it says crazy cat lady lives here. And she started telling me a story about the neighbor across the street and how the neighbor tried to shoot their dogs. So already I'm like, oh, wonderful, here I am in the yard about to get shot because they hate each other. So anyway, that was that. And then they were like, well, let me show you around the rest of the house. It was very like vintage, antique. You can tell that it was built in maybe like the 30s or 40s. It was a very unique property. But anyway, so we're walking around the house, and I don't know, it was just weird. It was very dark in there, and they tried to make it cute, but I just felt just off. And then they're like, "Oh, well, let's show you the shed," and I was like, "Okay, sure, no problem." So, mind you, I've never met them before. This is the first time I've met them. I'm by myself. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just go along with it because this is what we do. So, go and they open the shed, and there is clowns hanging from the ceiling of the shed, like little clown toys. I have always been scared of clowns. If you ask any of my family members, I am mortified of clowns. I've gotten better as I've gotten older because I know like they're whatever, like it's supposed to be entertainment purposes. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. And like knives, like a knife hanging and like scissors hanging, like all hanging from the ceiling. So, I didn't want them to feel bad. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they were like, oh, yeah. She's like, my husband just loves that type of stuff. So I was like, I need to go in my head. I'm like, I need to go. I need to leave. I cannot be here. Clowns hanging from ceilings. But before then, before I was taken to the shed, next door was a vacant house. Again, it was an older house because this is an area where there was a lot of older homes. And there was a doll head in the grass, just hanging out there. And they're like, yeah, no one's lived there for years. It's just there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So here I am trying to take content, right? Like, I'm like, oh, let me take a video of that, of like the doll head and all that stuff. So it was just a really weird and creepy situation. But, it makes you think like we put ourselves in like these just strange situations, and potentially could be dangerous. You never know what you're getting yourself into. So always got to do a quick check before we go.